make a loop, enter your hook into the loop and chain 30. I have started my video like this because I'm going to write in the description the details of the hook size, the yarn type, and everything else. My chain 30 is ready. I'm now going to add a +2, 1, 2, wrap your yarn, skip the first 2 loops into the 3rd loop and work a double crochet. Like that. Work a double crochet along the entire chain. I'll meet you at the end of it. I'm getting to the end of this row. I have 2 loops left. And that's your row 1. On row 2, we are going to start doing an increase. So chain 2, turn your work, enter into the first loop with a double crochet, wrap your yarn, continue with a double crochet. Our increase is at the end of this row, so I'm going to meet you towards the end of my row 2. I am getting to the end of row 2. You're going to enter into that last loop and put 2 double crochet like that. Then chain 2, turn your work and work a double crochet in the very first loop, and then continue working a double crochet along the entire row. Keep doing the same increase until you have a total of 6 rows. I'm going to meet you when I have 6 rows. I am done with the 6 rows. I'm going to attach these stitch markers so that I'm able to remember where I had this made. And let's continue to our next row. Chain 1, 2, turn your work, enter 2 double crochets in the very first loop. So this is 1, go back with another. That's now a new increase, and continue working a double crochet along the entire row. I'm going to meet you towards the end of this row. I am getting to the end of this row. You're going to enter 2 double crochets at the end, just like we were doing before. Then chain 2, turn your work, start with 2 double crochet extra in that same loop, and do the same thing to a total of 2 rows, and I'm going to meet you at the end. I have reached the end. I have my 2 rows. I'm now going to shift the stitch markers to the end row and this other one as well, because we are going to keep working on the same pattern but with a different increase. So this time around we're going to chain 2, turn your work, enter into the very first loop with 2 double crochets to a total of 3, and you're going to continue working. I'll meet you at the end of the row where you're going to change. Instead of 2 double crochet at the end of the row, you'll do 3. So I'm going to meet you at the end of this row. I've reached the end of my row, and you're now going to work 3 double crochets, like that. Remember that I'm working on a size small, so you should work according to your measurements. So again, chain 2, turn your work 2 double crochets and to make a total of 3, and continue until the end where you're going to work 3 double crochets. I'm going to skip this part. Make sure to work this to a total of 6 rows. I'll try to write everything in the description. I'll meet you when I have my 6 rows. My 6 rows already. We are going to now start a different stitch. Make sure you have yours done as well. So let's go. And now we are going to chain 1, turn your work. We're going to work with a different stitch, which I call the Morse stitch. Enter in that very first loop with a double crochet. Your chain 1 is like your single crochet, then double crochet, like that. Skip this loop into the next with a single crochet, and go back in that same loop with a double crochet. Skip one loop into the next with a single crochet and go back with a double crochet. One more. Skip one loop into the next with a single crochet and go back with a double crochet. You're going to work this until the end of the row. Make sure your stitches, your loops are making an odd number. If not, you'll have to create one. I'll meet you at the end. I'm at the end of my row 1 of Morse stitch, and now you're going to enter into the very last loop after skipping one loop with a single crochet. With this stitch, we are not going to make any increases, we are just going to work it down. So you're going to again work the way you began the stitch with with a chain 1, which is going to be like your first single stitch, and enter in that very first loop. I'm hoping it's visible enough. The very first loop with a double crochet. We are working no increases, no decreases. We're just working the stitch. Skip this loop into the next with a single crochet, then go back in the same loop with a double crochet, like that. Skip one loop into the next with a single crochet and go back with a double crochet. Hopefully my work is clear enough. The stitch we are working on is like you're working the single crochet from the single crochets, because if you see properly you'll notice that we are working, this loop is on the single crochet. So I'll continue working mine off camera. I'll meet you when I have a total of 20 rows, but you can make as long as you want, how decent you want your top to be. So I'll meet you when I have my 20 rows done. No increases at all, because we have a back part to work on. I have reached the end on my 20th row. Like I said, you can make as many rows as you want. These were my choice, and you can see I made no increases. You see, my increases stopped on the double crochets. This is an extra small crochet top. I would encourage you to take measurements, please, so that you make something that fits you right. We are now going to clean up. Chain 1, 2, work half double crochet, along this entire area until you reach the underarm part where you stopped with your double crochets. I'm going to rush my video or speed it up. I'll meet you around that part. So I have reached that spot where I asked you to stop. We are now going to switch to a single crochet, but we are continuing. So chain 1, enter in that same loop where you worked your half double crochet with a single crochet. This helps you to turn the curve or easily turn to another stitch. So continue working two single crochets in one double crochet. Sorry, I'm going to speed this up as well. I'll meet you at the end of it all. I am getting done, as you can see. Enter the very first loop on your base chain, and then chain 1 and cut off the yarn. You're going to work this same thing on the you're going to work the same thing on this side, and then I'm going to meet you for something different. I am done with my front piece. You can see it looks amazing. You can even wear it like this, really. You just have to add strings. So let's start on the back parts of our piece. You're going to make a loop. Enter your hook in the loop you have created and chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're going to add a +2. 1, 2. Then wrap your yarn, skip the first 2 loops, and work into the third a double crochet. You're going to work a double crochet along the entire row. I'm getting done. In total, you're going to have 6 double crochets. Then you're going to chain 2, turn your work. That's like your first double crochet. Start from the very first loop with a double crochet and work to a total of 6 double crochets. You're going to work this until you have a total of 3 rows. No increases, no decreases. 3 rows of double crochets. I am getting done with my 3rd row. This is it. You're now going to chain 1, 2, turn your work. You're going to work in the very first loop with a double crochet. We are going to be doing the increase at the end of the row, so you're going to continue working in the next loops like that. And now we are on the last loop where we are going to work 3 double crochets. This is the second, and you're going to have to go back with the 3rd for our increase. So go back with the 3rd. So we're going to be putting 3 in that. So chain 1, 2, turn your work. Go in the very first loop, put 2 double crochets to total to 3, and then continue working along the row. You are going to keep doing that increase until you have a total of 4 rows. This is row 2. Row 3, chain 2, turn your work. This is the side where we are doing no increases. Start with a double crochet in the first loop and continue. And then at the end, you're still going to put 3 double crochets in the last loop. So I'm going to skip mine. I'll meet you when my 4 rows are ready. I am done with my 3 rows and 4 rows of increases. We are now going to work an increase this side, and then here we're going to maintain it. So you're going to work an increase on the side where you weren't doing any increases. Chain 2, work in the very first loop with 2 double crochets like that. Remember, that's the side where you aren't working any increases. So continue working double crochets. I'm not going to speed up this part because I want you to understand it proper. So until the end, when you're working this side, while you are working increases, it's the part where you're not going to work an increase. Now chain 2, turn your work, start from the very first loop with a double crochet. That helps us to maintain the base, and continue working. You're again going to put an increase at the end because now we are working increases on the other side to create our arm space. I'm getting close to where I started my increase. Yeah, then enter in this last loop like that. Yep, with our 2 double crochets. Chain 2, turn your work, enter in the very first loop with 2 double crochets to total to 3. When you're finishing it, you're finishing with 2. When you're turning, there are 3 in total. And continue working until the end. You are going to keep working this stitch, the increase, until you have a total of 7, which you're going to add to the total of the 4 that we made and the 3. Then I'm going to skip mine. I'm going to show you when we are starting a different stitch. I'm done with my double crochets, and in total I have 14 rows altogether. And now we are going to start working on this moss stitch or Suzette stitch. Suzette stitches are many, but this is one of them. So chain 1, turn your work in the very first loop with a double crochet. I already showed you with the first piece, so skip 1 loop into the next with a single crochet and go back in the same loop with a double crochet. Skip this into the next single crochet and go back into the same loop with a double crochet. So we are going to do the exact way we did it. I'm going to meet you at the end of this row. I am almost at the end. And when we are working this stitch, we are making no increases or decreases. We are just going to work it like we worked on our front piece. So work in the last loop with a single crochet like that. Chain 1, turn your work, start from the very first loop with a double crochet. The chain 1 acts like our single crochet. Skip 1 into the next with a single crochet and go back with a double crochet. I'm not going to repeat myself because I already showed you when I was working on the front piece of this top. You're going to repeat the same and make sure you have this in total of 20 rows, just so that it's the same with our front piece. I'm going to skip until I'm going to show up when I have my 20 rows, and I show you what to do next. I am getting done with my Morse stitch, and that's it. So this is how it looks. Make sure you have 2 of these, and now we are going to do a cleanup around this entire area. Up to there, I work a half double crochet, then I work a single crochet, continuing. So chain 1, 2, enter in each loop of the chain 1 you are doing, or single crochet with a half double crochet. You remember we did the same cleanup on the front part, so do the same for this. I'm going to speed up until the spot where you're supposed to switch. So this is it. Up to the double crochets, if you remember how we worked the first piece. Then after that, you're going to switch into working with a single crochet. In each double crochet, you're going to put 2 single crochets. So work until the end of this. Don't rotate because I am not. But if you want, you can do it because it's actually totally fine. It's just a single crochet like that. I'll meet you here. I have reached the end spot. You're going to chain 1, and cut off the yarn. And you're going to turn your work so that you do the same thing on the other side. So you're going to come at the tip, since you want your good part of your work to be on the same side. I'm going to start on top. So you're going to enter in the very first loop, pull through the loop you have created, chain 1, because we are going to now work a single crochet. That's the part of the double. On a long double crochets, we work single crochets, and like I said, in each double crochet you're putting 2 single crochets. And then on the part where there is a Morse stitch, you'll be working a half double crochet. So I'm going to speed up this video, not to drag it. I'll meet you when I'm done cleaning up the entire piece. We have 2 pieces at the back, so make sure they are all cleaned up. So I am done with my cleaning up. I'm going to chain 1 and cut off the piece. So this is it, and this is the other part. If you can notice, the longer increase was the underarm, and this part where we just did a tiny increase is for our string. So we're just going to attach the piece on the main piece. Wait a minute, like this, like that. Our piece is done. It's gorgeous. I've made a size small, so I'm going to stitch these back parts to the main piece. We already did we have loops. Counting should be easy. You're just going to use a tapestry needle, or you can also use a single crochet to attach the pieces together. I'm going to fast forward that part because most of us know how to use a needle to attach. So, but I'm going to show it, though I'm going to fasten the video. And yes, make sure the good side of your piece, they are facing you. Make sure to work your piece on the part that you think is going to be the inside of your piece. Start from the very first loops. You're going to keep passing loop to loop. I don't have a proper language of stitching with needles, but it's more like a French knot. So I'm going to meet you when I am done. And when you're attaching, make sure you stop exactly underarm, and that is the part where our double crochet ends to start the Morse stitch. Don't go beyond it because the underarm is going to be tighter. And for those who have different sizing, I'm going to write them in the description because sometimes we are too distracted to focus on mentioning all the sizes, but please endeavor to check in the description. I am getting done with my stitching. I'm on the last bit of it. Sorry. You are going to, I have one loop left. So you're going to end from here and lock up that part just to avoid it from opening. You're going to do this on the other side as well. I'm going to work mine off camera. And yeah, I'll meet you to show you what to do next. I have both my pieces attached. You're going to attach that part as well with the needle too. So make sure your loops are equal to the ones of the front piece so that you don't make any mistake. Sorry. And then you do the stitching as well. You can use a single crochet or a needle. It's according to your preference. I'm going to fasten this part as well, and then I'll meet you later. This is our piece. It's beautiful. I'm so in love. It's like a halter top with a bit of an extra, but yeah, it's beautiful. I have my string already made. You can make yours. You know how to make a string. Come to that part where we stopped our increase in the beginning. It's where we're going to enter our string so that we can make a lace until down. If you remember, when I was working the back parts, I worked 3 double crochet rows without increase, then I worked 4 double crochet rows with an increase, and that's this increase where I am putting my first string before I create the lace. So I'm going to fasten this as well. Damn, subscribe to this channel if you have not, and please like this video. I appreciate your support. Give it a super thanks, a thumbs up, support me, and yeah. Our crochet top is ready. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your support. I love you so much, and I appreciate you for all the donations and everything. Thank you.